This is your Community Spotlight.
Born and raised in Watford City, graduated, went off to college, moved back to Watford. The most rewarding part is watching a family enjoy their new home where they can start to make memories together. I love it.
Do you know how to become a member of the Newtown Chamber? Well, if you have a business or you just want to get involved, all you have to do is join. Check out the website for more information or to register. And you can join us for our monthly meetings right here at Cornerstone Bank in Newtown to find out more or to become a member. See you at the next meeting.
On in.
Being a part of the Newtown Chamber gets you involved with community events like the Parade of Lights held on Main Street, as well as the annual Newtown Car Show, including many other city events that are held throughout the year. You can also join us for our Business After Hours events. Showcase your business and be featured on Community Spotlight TV. We look forward to meeting you soon. Contact us today for more info.
Hi everybody, my name is Tisa Peak and we are out here at JT Family Equine and it's all about horses today and what we can teach the youth across Bismarck and beyond about not only what horses can bring as confidence, independence, but learning the safety aspects, how to saddle, how to lead a horse, and then growing as far as groundwork goes with a horse. And what we've noticed is a lot of children are either really confident or they're not, but it brings out different emotions. So with a horse, you really have to control your emotions. You might have to contain the excitement, or you might have to fake it until you make it and be confident around the horse, because we have to have that quality to be a leader around the horse. So we're just trying to bring that out in children, get them on the backs of horses, get them to know that horses are their friend and that we can control some emotions, and maybe even inspire someone to become a horseman or horsewoman, be a rodeo athlete, whatever it is, because I just truly believe that horses are the only thing I've had to communicate with people. It's why I have relationships, and a horse doesn't judge. That's the most important thing. When you're having a bad day, they don't know it. You have to come out and be at your top, and they will either change your day because you have to, or they will make your day better in a way that you never thought. So we just love horses out here, and we're showing ponies to big horses and what can be done in the future, and maybe just putting some smiles on people's faces.
Your stirrup, this is where your foot's gonna go. And it's not the whole foot, it's just the ball of your feet. That's the safest.
Horses are healing, and it's really going to be nice for these kids to be able to just be in touch with them, and I'm excited about it. And I'm really thankful that Chairman Fox funds this. This is the 4th year now. You'll find that they love horses. Kids are going to have a great time. And these clinics, by the way, fill up in minutes. When I put them online, they are filled up, and then there's actually kids that wish they could come, but we're full. So that's why I say if there was just any way we could build on it and make it bigger, I would love that. That's my goal. That would be my wish.
My name is Lauren White Jr. Itafawe. I reached out kind of late actually, and luckily enough there was a spot available for my daughter. You know, being off reservation now, living here in Bismarck is definitely quite different from the way I grew up. I grew up in White Shoals, North Dakota, and from a very young age, being around horses, those were some of my first memories. I think the first time I rode was about 2. Spent every summer, fall, almost daily on the horses. So being able to have that in my life, in my childhood, was really great. And now, we're out here in Bismarck, and so it's totally different for my kids growing up more in an urban setting. So being able to have an opportunity like this was a great thing for them, and really appreciate what Sage Cooley does, the office of chairman, being able to support these kinds of possibilities for the kids to get involved and get out there and kind of have a little bit of that horse culture that we did as youth growing up. So yeah, very, very good thing, very happy and appreciative for it.
Okay.
We are sort of disadvantaged, a very rural, high-need area. I believe our people deserve the best in healthcare. Our clinics are depending on the National Health Service Corps.
Every single day I feel like I'm able to make a difference for people and touch people's lives, and they touch mine too.
If you're looking for a job that you will love, it's really investing in people's lives and investing in a community. And you need to look at National Health Service Corps.
Jeff Schaefer, Everett Holland, 17. You can run on 8. 17, run in, please. Maxwell and Morgan. How about that? How about that? Richard Pitson, Ryan Melby, 5. Go ahead and run on in. 5, you can run in.
Awful good. It's got nice cool weather, beautiful day to rope, a little breezy, kind of keeping you cool. Lots of ropers, got to have fun.
Shane Johnson, Robbie Lindley coming at you right here, draw 57.
I'm Travis Tryon, and we're here at the World Class Invitational. It's Wrangler Team Roping Championships qualifier. It's one of our biggest events. Ton of added money to the open roping on Friday, the guys that are going down the road and stuff. Had great roping on Friday night. It was awesome short round. I had a guy walk out of here with $30,000 to get him down the road. And then all day today, the ropings are paying $15,000 to win every one. So now we're getting down to the amateur level Saturday and Sunday. And the roping is just outstanding. What an atmosphere. We got Shane Johnson that put together a lot of this, and great sponsors behind this roping. Mervyn Packenow. Just a great team here at Healing Horse to put together such an awesome event for the ropers, and heard nothing but great things about it. Team roping, this is a jackpot. So in a rodeo, you can only enter one time. Jackpot, you can enter multiple times in each event. And we have a number system that puts you together with the same type of team. When it's an open roping like it was on Friday, that's just the best of the best go against each other. And as you go down into these ropings, it's basically, it pairs you up with the like team. So you're roping against your same caliber of roper. And that's what we do all weekend. So it's anywhere from the best in the world on down to the beginner that's just starting and just loves the sport, and it's the greatest family sport there is. I'm from Billings, Montana. I rodeoed most of my life. I've been doing this for the better part of 10 years now, putting on ropings and stuff and producing ropings, and it's good to have a bunch of good people to put them on together with. My family did it. My dad did it. He started the Wrangler Team Roping Championships in 2005. This is year 20 for him. I've come aboard and helped for the last 8 years and put on some ropings before that a little bit. So yeah, it's kind of family. It's in our blood.
So the way this works, there's everybody who's on a team and everybody pays $100. So there's $200 running that cap. There's probably 100 cowboys and cowgirls, and like right there, that sound, if you hear it, it was a broken barrier. So if they catch it, if they caught it, they would have been clean. But since they broke a barrier, it's a 5-second penalty.
56, you're 4 away. Gibson and Hall at 54, go ahead and ride in. Set down the floater.
That doesn't count. Everybody comes over here. We're from Arizona. We drove 1,600 miles to be here, and the MHA tribe puts on a great rodeo with Shane Johnson. It's a good time. It's fun.
a 1,000-year-old community that was once a model of Native American culture and shared communal living, gone. How was it that a town that triumphed in sporting competition was completely wiped out, and now all that remains are its ghostly ruins at the bottom of one of America's largest lakes? June 1934. North Dakotans throng the banks of the Missouri River on both sides for the opening of the Four Bears Bridge, a moment captured in time in still photography, the excitement and hope evident for all to see in the faces of the crowd. Built on the Berthold Indian Reservation, the bridge was named for two chiefs of the three united tribes that made up the reservation's land, Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara, both of whom shared the name Four Bears. To mark the occasion, a stone obelisk is erected as a monument to the new connection of the land and the tribes who had lived on that land for a millennium, not only managing to maintain their traditions and way of life through the ages, but also thriving in the increasingly changing world of the early and middle 20th century. Many of the people in the photograph were born into a time before airplanes and motor cars, but they would live to see the atomic bomb, the moon landing, and the arrival of computers. November 2005, with Lake Sakakawea at historic lows. The few drivers that patronize its shore roads are surprised by the appearance of an odd shape rising out of the water. What appears at first to be an alien artifact, or perhaps some broken fragment of a shipwreck, is in fact the top of the Four Bears Bridge monument, a ghostly reminder of a lost community and a lost dream. How was it that the thriving Native American communities who assembled in that June sunshine to mark a great step forward for their people had disappeared and vanished, the only evidence of their centuries-long presence a spooky monolith rising from the dark and muddy waters? Before we answer that question in the following video, if you're interested in early access to videos and live chats with the creator of Intrigued Mind, consider subscribing to our Patreon. Your support will greatly help us keep the channel producing more intriguing content. The small North Dakota town of Elbowoods was a thriving community in the 1930s and 40s. The people who grew up at that time remember a life that revolved around hard work and harsh winters, but one that was above all happy. The Fort Berthold Indian Reservation had been created in 1870, following from the signing of the Fort Laramie Treaty 19 years earlier in 1851. The land within the reservation evolved and shrank over the following decades, but by the time that the Elbowoods Four Bears Bridge began construction in 1930, life on the reservation seemed very settled. Tribesmen in traditional dress are pictured at the opening of the bridge, holding aloft the American flag. Elbowoods was established in the closing decades of the 1800s, when residents of the Lac-Officiok village moved following outbreaks of smallpox in the area, as well as conflict with the Sioux Nation. The town took its name from the literal description of its location, being situated in a bend of the Missouri River where it turns like an elbow from south to east by a wooded area. By the 1940s, it was a center of a three-tribes community, hosting a boarding school, hospital, Indian Agency headquarters, and a jail. Though successive renegotiations and seizures meant that the reservation was smaller than the 12 million acres at its creation, following the 1887 Dawes Act, the 1890s had seen the tribes awarded what were called allotments, in an effort to move away from the traditional collective lifestyle of the tribes and toward individualist farming in the United States model. Each head of a household was awarded 160 acres, while single adults and children were given smaller portions. Livestock, like cattle, cows, sheep, and pigs, were introduced, and the arable crops grown were traditional corn, along with oats, wheat, barley, squash, beans, peas, and turnips. Children attended school regularly from the 19th century, and Martin Cross Jr., a native of Elbowoods, recalled that the Catholic Church was very important for the Indian people during the next decades. The church at Elbowoods was a large, picturesque building with a capacity for the residents of the town along with the inhabitants of the nearby areas. Accounts of those who lived in the town during the 1930s and 40s seem to paint a picture of a life that involved a lot of hard work for both adults and children. Not unusual for towns of Elbowwood size at the time, but one that had successfully adapted to the necessities and demands of the 20th century, while also maintaining its distinctive culture and communal spirit. Despite having a population of only 200 and a basketball court so small that its free throw circle was set to intersect the middle line, in 1942, the town's basketball team, the Warriors, reached the final of the Class B state championship under the tutelage of their coach, Leon Wall. Though they lost by a point, it was still a significant achievement for such a small Native American community with virtually no resources or even the means for its supporters to travel to games. The Warriors lost the game by a point, but it was discovered that their opponents, the Lakota Raiders, had fielded an ineligible player, while at the same time, the Warriors had kept one of their regular players, who was similarly ineligible, on the bench. The board decided to declare the result null and void and registered Elbowwoods as the winners by default. But they refrained from crowning the Warriors champions, with the excuse that it would cause unrest amongst the other teams that had played Lakota earlier in the tournament. Unfortunately, the disappointment of the basketball championship, in spite of Elbowwood's dedication to fair play, proved to be a harbinger of much greater heartbreak. Beginning in the early to middle 1940s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers moved onto the Three Tribes reservation land and began construction on what would eventually become the Garrison Dam. The Army ignored the protests of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara that reservation land was protected by treaty, and cited the law of eminent domain, continuing their work in spite of the opposition of the families who legally owned the land. The dam project was part of a larger government program to both control the potential for flooding along the Missouri River, as well as create employment from both the construction work itself and the electricity that would be generated once the Army had completed construction of the dam. Flooding on the Great Rivers was a serious concern, particularly following the Great Mississippi Flood of 1927, which had killed close to 500 people as well as destroying property and displacing hundreds of thousands of people. Now faced with an existential threat to their own lives, the three tribes were forced to take their case directly to Washington, D.C. Congress compelled the Army to negotiate with the tribes, and both parties put forward alternatives to the construction of the dam and the inevitable flooding of the tribal lands that would follow it. Unfortunately, the Army's offer to replace the tribal territories and towns with new land of similar size was unacceptable, while the tribe's suggestion of a possible replacement site for the dam was also turned down by the Army. Throughout the negotiations, construction work continued on tribal lands, and Native American representatives felt that this had an intimidatory effect on the locals, as well as discouraging many into thinking that the project was a foregone conclusion. Congress eventually settled the matter unilaterally in 1947 by awarding $5 million compensation to the tribes for the loss of their homes, though this rose to $12 million following the appointment by the tribes of an outside assessor who valued the suitable compensation at closer to $22 million. The tribes were also denied a share of the electrical output of the dam that would soon flood the valley, wiping out their farms, and they were banned from fishing and hunting on the lake and its vicinity, as well as grazing their animals or using the wood and timber in the area as they had done for 1,000 years. Chairman George Gillette wept at the signing ceremony for the purchase of the 150,000 acres to construct the dam in May 1948. Insufficiently recompensed for the loss of their homes and livelihoods, 325 families, about 80% of the affiliated tribes' members, began the process of relocation, in many cases hoisting their homes, the buildings of their towns, and even the graves of their loved ones onto trailers or rolling logs and hauling them to their new locations, all at their own expense. The Four Bears Bridge was relocated, as was the town's church, where it stood forlornly isolated for 70 years until an arsonist burned it down in 2019. Many of the institutional holdings of Elbowwoods were reconstructed at a site called Newtown, which today has a population of 2,000. The village communities and rural networks of the past were irrevocably broken, however, and many of the people who had enjoyed accessibility to the larger tribal community found themselves living in isolated settlements, the new Lake Sakakoea cutting off the routes around the now much diminished area of the Fort Berthold Reservation. By the middle of the 1950s, the lake had flooded the towns of Elbowwoods, Sanish, and part of Old Hook, and claimed fully 94% of the tribe's agricultural lands. In the wake of the dam's construction, unemployment on the reservation reached 70%, and many were affected by despair. The community worked hard to build a new life, helped somewhat by the discovery of North Dakota oil in the 1950s, and today, Newtown hosts many of the tribal centers that were once situated in Elbowwoods. The Elbowwoods Memorial Health Center is located on College Drive, and the town contains a community college, water department, and an office of public works. The Four Bears Casino is also built on reservation land. In a happy conclusion to one nagging aspect of Elbowwoods' history, the town's basketball team also finally received their trophy a full 60 years after the fateful final game with Lakota, when they were named 1942 Class B champions at the 2002 finals. Though the ceremony righted a historical wrong and showed that the community was not forgotten, the town of Elbowwoods and its beautiful surrounding lands still lay under the cold waters of Lake Sakakoea, the only glimpse of its lost and ghostly past rising to the surface when the waters are low, or else viewed in the grainy footage of the town when it was a thriving and prosperous center for the three tribes of the Fort Berthold Reservation. Today, The focus of educators in the 3 tribes centers on teaching younger generations that think the giant lake near their home has always been there of their ancestral heritage and the unique historical legacy of their people. For others, the lost town of Elbowwoods remains an intriguing example of the impermanence and unpredictability of fate, as well as the preciousness of life. For more videos on the most amazing forgotten parts of our history, be sure to subscribe to the Intrigued Mind channel, like the video, and leave your suggestions in the comments below.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mortensen. I'm the chief dentist here at Elbowwoods, and this is our open house. This is the patient check-in area and our waiting room. And then also we have the optometry side of things there. Be able to look through the frames and different things, but basically at this point is where we would separate. So optometry goes this way, dental. So we have 11 treatment rooms, 3 of which will be hygiene. So it starts all the way down in the hallway. This is our pano machine, which is really cool. This would be part of a dental exam. Say if you had wisdom teeth that needed to be checked out, or you can see where the sinuses fall by your teeth. When I say hygiene, that's rooms our hygienist would work out of. So that would be your dental cleanings or your deep cleaning, and can come through with exams and stuff. So this would be our hygienist's room. So she just was getting that set up, and we only have one hygienist right now. Well, before we were across the river, just across from the casino, in a trailer, and we had 4 chairs that we had in use there, but it was a very, very old building. So this facility is brand new. We have wonderful windows to look out, and a state-of-the-art lab that goes with it. So you have to be enrolled in a federally recognized tribe. Nice, clean facility. Here's our, like I said, our new sterilizing room. We would love to have 3 or 4 staff dentists. So currently I'm the only one, but we're hoping that this will help recruit. Having a brand new facility, and these are a little bit, these can be closed off. These are our surgical suites. We're here to help you. So say if we have a big family that comes in with a whole bunch of appointments, we do have extra family rooms. So say if a couple are still in appointments, we could use this room. I started in June of 2013. It is a very big day. Yeah, we're excited. If we could be brushing twice a day, 2 minutes each time, and if we could floss once a day, that would be wonderful. Your gums and your teeth would love you for it.
Name's Waylon, and then I've been with Elbowwoods for like 8 years altogether now. But yeah, we just started moving in all the frames today. We're still planning to diversify our frame selection, so like the Luxottica stuff, like Nike, Coach, Ray-Bans. We're still in the process trying to get that next. Yeah, I'll be helping him with his eye exam, so I'll be doing the pre-screenings for him. Contacts, it's in the works down the line. We have a contact room, but we haven't set up a purveyor to do our contact lenses yet. Refraction done in here. If we need to see what the lenses are, a visual acuity fields in there. It's kind of like our really basic exam room. Yeah, when they opened up the new clinic, they did have an office for him, but he was kind of a second afterthought because it was kind of like more closed for him. So there was only the 2 exam rooms. There was limited space on the frame selections. And then we only had enough room for 2 employees, but now we're looking to expand. So I'm hoping that with the building open up and then possibly down the road we can get a second doctor so we can start getting these patients in. Yeah, just trying to make sure that the kids keep on their glasses. That's the big one.
Do you know how to become a member of the Newtown Chamber? Well, if you have a business or you just want to get involved, all you have to do is join. Check out the website for more information or to register. And you can join us for our monthly meetings right here at Cornerstone Bank in Newtown to find out more or to become a member. See you at the next meeting.
On in.
Being a part of the Newtown Chamber gets you involved with community events like the Parade of Lights held on Main Street, as well as the annual Newtown Car Show, including many other city events that are held throughout the year. You can also join us for our Business After Hours events. Showcase your business and be featured on Community Spotlight TV. We look forward to meeting you soon. Contact us today for more info. J Nation Parks and Reserve hosted the first hike down by Lost Bridge on the Little Missouri River.
I'm Mary Fredericks. I'm the Program Director Administrator of the Three Affiliated Tribes Parks and Reserve Program, and we are having our first official hike in our Three Affiliated Tribes National Park. We're pretty excited about it. We've been working on this project for about 2 years. And we have a trail cut in. We'll be opening it via website. You can get permits on the website. We're very lucky. Our tribe purchased about 2,100 acres right off the reservation, just straight south of our reservation on the Little Missouri River. And we worked and got the land put in trust. And now in August, the Secretary of Interior signed a proclamation. And so our park is now within the boundaries of Fort Berthold, and we're going to be able to move that sign that says "Welcome to Fort Berthold" from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill. So we're pretty excited, and I'm thankful that our tribe is committed to preservation and conservation, and I feel like ecotourism is going to be a big thing. This will be a place where people can come and be introduced to the park and introduced to our landscape, the natural resources we have, start to look at our culture, and then they'll push in and go to the interpretive center, get more information on our culture, and just starting to educate people and become more friendly with our neighbors.
Hikers were offered blood pressure and sugar tests and a water station set up along the trail, and even TAT Fire Management was on the scene.
Today we were just helping out with Parks and Rec and help getting things set up. Just helping out where we can.
Real good exercise, and I recommend.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that the whole couple of families went up there with their kids, and like that. I kept thinking the whole time that it's nice for them to be able to get out there, wear them out before bedtime. That's a great way to do it. Get back to the basics again.
I would say just if you're interested, contact us via the phone, and we'll talk. And their next big push is for our visitor center up on top. We're always going to work on trails and keep doing trails, and it's a development process. We're just going through developing.
Check out the website for more information and to apply for a free permit for you or your group to hike your very own MHA Nations National Park.